Okay, we have Vishy Anand and Liren in the studio, and we just saw the 6th draw out of 7 games between these two players. And Anand, did you play to save energy today? Was that a thought, or?
I'm sure if I wanted to save energy, I could do a better job. So I improved on his game with Sergey, where Sergey went queen e2, and I thought this was better done with the rook on e1.
You're talking about Ding's game against Karyakin.
That's right.
And
So instead of queen e2,
that was queen e2.
well, instead of rook e1, he went queen e2.
Does it make a big difference?
Well, it stops queen d7, which I thought is a better square. And then after rook
Why does it stop queen d7?
Because here, if you take, then the queen is kind of misplaced on e5, whereas the same thing with the rook on e5 and queen on e2 would be better. If I go e5, he takes everything. He can probably even play ba4 because I cannot play queen c5. He has rook c8, takes c2.
Just a moment. This prevents queen d7. What did you say? You have to explain.
No,
Show me.
Actually, I want to play e5 here.
Yeah. Well,
You want to play e5, just closing it.
Yes, but after rook e1, if I play e5, then after c3, his queen.
yeah, and
can
this is
come
one
to
point that
b3.
my queen is
Uh-huh.
better placed than on here. So
Yeah, actually, I didn't want to allow e5 after this. I think it's a little bit better for white. If I take, then maybe you can take this.
yeah, I wasn't sure about this, but
Maybe this. It's slightly better. I didn't
I
want
thought
to.
rook a1 and rook a8, and you're never going to be really worse because you play h6 and then some counterplay, no?
But I want to play e5. I want to improve my play.
Yeah.
But you play rook e1, so now e5 doesn't.
Yeah, so queen c7, and I remember that with e5 there was. So basically, what white wants is to play the same that Sergey did, to play b3 and knight e4.
Yes, because we're talking
Here.
in the Sergey game, you managed to play e5, and didn't you also play b4? If I
Yes.
remember right?
So the whole thing shut down.
Just
and
closing, having a horrible bishop, it doesn't matter because it's a draw. Is that the thing?
Yeah,
Well,
but I play e5.
then I never get f4.
Yeah.
Or Sergey would never have gotten f4, and that was his problem. He
Because that will kind of be then the bishop
well,
might
then
do
otherwise the
something.
position's completely closed. So the only way for white to make progress is with f4. But after e5 and b4, so the game was in theory about stopping both these things happening at the same time. And here I felt that because I have some, I mean, if bishop e5, I can play queen e2, and then I have some knight g5 ideas. So I did this, but I misremember about something because white shouldn't allow the whole position to shut down. Maybe b3 here or something.
Yeah.
b3 here.
Yeah,
Does that
I mean,
change
I
anything?
misplayed something. I couldn't remember what, because after b3, b4, or c3, then my knight can go back to f3 because now the queen side is really closed, but the king side isn't. I can go rook e4, queen e2, rook e1, and try to get something there. I mean, it's not one of Morphy's games, but I can make some progress, I thought. But I found I couldn't remember how I was supposed to do it, and then I kind of maybe some exact move here, but
Also
I
B3.
forgot what it was. I'm
Also-
just a little bit short of time in the way it went. I mean, knight e4. Maybe I shouldn't interpolate AB myself, but
I saw b3.
yeah, I think maybe this was what I missed.
Ding, did you feel solid all the way?
Yes, but I think b3 is what I worried about. I want to take and queen e5.
Huh.
But also position close to equal.
Yeah, but the thing is, as long as I have a file free, so if I go, let's say, rook c1 here, and then ab5, he will not be able to cover both files. And then if I play knight e4, I could actually just be better. But like I said, I misplayed it. I shouldn't have. I think knight e4 is a mistake, b3. But there were also some ideas with b3
Is this equal or
Takes,
is this,
and BA, and then also BA. And then probably I have to play BA myself. And then Queen C2, and I was kind of unsure how to make this work. I would guess Knight F3 is better, but... So I just kind of blew my idea.
Okay, guys.
Is Rook F7 possible? Other than Queen E6, yeah?
Yeah, I was not sure because
Or King H8?
if I want to play this line, then maybe I can play here. I can take here and play Queen C2.
No, but then Knight E4. And then Queen is AB5. So Queen B5, check, King H8, Knight D6. And it's, I mean, you will have some compensation, of course. But at least I get this Knight F7 move.
There's not so many lines here actually. There were more lines yesterday. This is just kind of general judgments. I mean, in your game yesterday there were lots of lines to calculate. Here there are general judgments, different type of position.
Well, you're slightly dismissing the danger. I mean, the point is if black gets one move wrong and I get this, so let's say here, we overwrote. I mean, back to this B3. If black gets it wrong, then after Knight E4, he could be almost lost.
Okay.
Because if a rook is loose on the C file or the A file, black will never be able to cover it with his queen and bishop and rook. And so once white has given his king a little space, so
this is
G3
also
or something,
concrete
then if my rook can go to A6 or A7, and it's very hard to defend. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, if I can't pinpoint what exactly I did wrong, I know that I managed to get a bit more at home, but I evidently blew something, and then it's difficult to remember. I mean, there are also, because there were 10 other moves here, Queen C7 is only one of many moves. I mean, Bishop E7 is there, which doesn't commit E5 and doesn't allow E5. So there are many interesting ideas for black. But well, I thought it was a try, and in the end, I think what I was worried of, but not after H5, but let's say H5, okay, so rook here. And the reason I was doing this, if he could get queen to A3, so let's say I just waffle around, and he gets queen to A7. I mean, I think this is still a fortress.
Yes.
Especially because I could counterattack. The queen is so far away, I could counterattack in this thing. But I was trying to see, without the pawn on H5, if he could do this, but then my queen will always harass him on G4. And with the pawn on H5, I'll have G4 myself somewhere. So it's very difficult for him to implement.
Still, it's hard to see what black is doing on the queen side, isn't it?
Yeah, but let's say he gets a perfect setup, which is some sort of king on B8, bishop on H6, and then queen A3.
And then
and still I don't see a way forward for him. As the only thing I don't need to do is to blunder with king G1, because then somewhere he could have queen B2. Takes, and there's a rook A1 idea.
Right.
But if I don't put the king on the first, I am safe. So luckily I have this fallback here that this position is completely drawn. As a fortress.
So maybe I should play this and bring the king to queen side.
But if you play G5, I think G4 is over. There is no entry anymore.
Yeah.
So I think the only way is to put the bishop on H6 and the queen on A3 and hope for something. But
maybe I should play this, bring the king to B6 and bishop.
Yeah, and then still I don't see a way forward, because if you go queen A3, I have rook B1. You go rook B2, I go rook A1, and I don't do anything. I stop breathing for a while. So, and I think it works.
you go for them back with the queen on.
Yeah, I just go to H2, G2, or even king F3, G2. Just avoid going to the first because of this one trick.
But Vishy, talking about getting a breath or a breathing, we have been talking in the studio about players leaving their chair, walking around, looking at the other boards, and you do that?
Sure.
Yeah. And Lagrave did that today, and he was doing it to get a rest, and then he saw the game against Mamedyarov and Karyakin, and he thought that was so fascinating and so interesting that he spent his break just thinking about that. Is that something that usually happens?
Yes, I saw this game as well, and at some point I couldn't take my eyes off it. And then rather annoyingly, my opponent made a move, so I had to come back. Well, I was just wondering if Mamedyarov could have played Queen H5 check and then Knight E4, but I think Bishop F7 works.
That's true.
Yeah,
that
and I was trying to make it work,
big.
but it just got into my head, and then I couldn't.
So it is very disturbing sometimes with your neighbors playing incredibly fascinating games.
Yes.
Yeah, Lagrave told that in the Altibox booth, that he was walking over to the board and he was just, wow. And he just spent all his energy on that
I didn't quite get that far,
game.
but
No.
I mean, definitely, that's not a position. If you're a chess player, that's not a position you can tear yourself away from very easily.
Is it better to sit all on your own, having played all these World Championship matches, not being disturbed by anyone else?
I don't think it's healthy to sit that long, simply. I think even if you're concentrated, you should get up and leave once in a while.
Yeah,
because,
but not having
sitting
the
there all
other
the time.
games disturbing your attention.
Yeah, but sometimes it's quite boring. So
Just sit there having your own
just
game.
sit there, and it's nice. I enjoy tournaments. I remember in matches very often I'd get up and realize, oh, we're the only two people. There's nothing to watch. So I quite prefer tournaments for that.
Cool.
Okay, guys, now you're free to leave the chairs and walk freely around and do whatever you like.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
Yeah.
And good luck for the rest of the tournament. Okay, we'll be right back with the rest of the games here from Altibox Norway Chess in Stavanger.